If you're looking for the best snare drums, here's a list you must see. We made this list based on our personal preferences, sorted it based on their features, prices, quality, durability, and reputation of the manufacturers and customer feedback. Also, we've included options for every type of customer. So let's get started. At the first position of our list, we have Pearl 1,330,102 Picolo snare. Picolo snares are an awesome way to spice up your rig, but also to have a snare that won't overpower the entire venue. Pearl's 1,330,102 Picolo snare is a perfect example of what one such model has to offer. The whole thing comes down to the color of the sound the snare produces. You are looking at a powerful but warm sound that has a lot of projection but also clarity to it. That is generally the type of performance you can expect from a 13x3 maple shell that is just a blast to work with. The head is a remote one, which works out perfectly with the overall configuration of the snare. It's an awesome piece of kit. Moving on to the next, at number 2 with Pearl G-1365 Joey Jordison's signature. Slipknot is one of those bands who worked hard to build a reputation through their sound. A good part of Slipknot's sound comes from Joey Jordison's taste in drums. Pearl's decision to dedicate a signature model to this great drummer was a very logical decision and one that was long overdue. As a result, they have managed to trap that core-driving snare that can be heard in many of Slipknot's biggest hits. The snare itself features a 13x6.5 steel construction with an SR17 snare strainer and master double-ended lugs as standard. The whole snare sports a black finish with Slipknot logos around the shell. Its dimensions and materials give it a very strong, high-pitch attack. The number 3 position is held by Ludwig LM400. Ludwig has a very good track record of designing snares which simply excel in their niche fields. However, it just so happens that they are also capable of designing a general-purpose snare that can be used in just about any situation quite efficiently. That is the whole reason why Ludwig LM400 has grown to be so popular. From a purely aesthetic point of view, it's a sleeper. You're looking at aluminum-built 14x5 snare that comes with their imperial lugs as well as superphonic strainer. The key to its success comes from its precision machined aluminum shell. It gives the LM400 a very distinct flavor and plenty of depth. The resonance and the amount of definition is impressive. Next, at number 4 we have DW Collector Series Black Nickel Over Brass. DW's Collector Series Black Nickel Over Brass is a very interesting beast. It's right at a price point where you start to see interesting things happen, yet it appears to offer much more than just a basic package. This 6.5x14 snare is made out of thin brass, which gives it a very flexible character. It can be utilized effectively in a large number of different genres, although it is arguable that it feels at home with rock music. The whole black nickel theme is seen all over the hardware as well as the shell itself. From a purely aesthetic point of view, this particular snare is a really attractive piece of kit to have, especially at this price. The number 5 position is held by Tama S.L.P. G-Bubinga snare drum. Once we start moving into the mid-range segment of the market, we run into quite a number of interesting models. One being the Tama's S.L.P. Bubinga snare drum. This 6x14 snare features a 12-ply Bubinga shell that measures some 10 in thickness. As it is usually the case with these, the outside layer is a quilted Bubinga while the interior portion is standard tonewood. The hardware is all black nickel plated, which gives the whole thing a very attractive appearance. In terms of hardware, you are looking at a steel mighty hoop and Star Classic lugs. It is also worth mentioning that the factory head that comes with it is pretty decent to say the least. The number 6 position is dominated by Ludwig's snare drum. Ludwig's LB417 is very highly regarded among drummers all around the world. It's a very versatile snare that is built like a tank and features great materials all over. Ludwig went with a smooth brass shell for this build, which gives the LB417 a very unique sound. Since it is a 6.5x14 unit, you can expect a slightly deeper and richer tone compared to the more traditional 5.5 models. LB417 also features classic lugs, making very easy to tune but also very reliable when it comes to holding that tuning. At the end of the day, it is a very versatile snare that packs a mean punch. With all that said, it's definitely a higher-end model. Moving on to the next at number 7 with Mapix RS465 sub-Armory. Mapix designs are by far some of the most interesting ones you can find on the market, especially if you are limited by your budget. One model that really caught our eye is the Mapix Armory. This is 14x6.5 snare that features a one-thick steep shell. The main thing to note here is that the shell is hammered. Despite there not being as much precision to this process as it's the case with some hammered steel snares, Mapix Armory still gets you that focused and aggressive sound. The hoops on these belong to Mapix Power Hoop series and really improve consistency. Same can be said about the rest of the hardware. Finally, it's one great looking snare. The number 8 position is held by Mapix MPX14. Next model in our LSIT also comes from Mapix and represents their Maple Shell series of 14x5.5 snares. One of the arguably best things about this particular model is its neutral nature. It is a standard snare in just about every way. The shell is interesting though. You are looking at a 6.5 maple shell that adds a bit of color to the whole thing, but also gives you plenty of power. Compared to other models on the market and especially other models we have talked about, this one packs the most width in the lower end. That makes it quite a good choice for a variety of music genres. Lastly, it comes with awesome heads included. Next at number 9 we have Yamaha Stage Custom Birch Snare. We are of course talking about the Yamaha Stage Custom Birch Snare in Raven Black. In all ways that matter, this is as neutral of a snare as they come. You are looking at a 14x5.5 unit that features some slightly advanced solutions at a very affordable price. You're getting 10 lugs for a much more precise tuning, a 45-degree bearing edge and so much more. The hardware itself is pretty decent too. The most remarkable thing about this model is that it just works. It's not a top-tier snare, but it's nothing to joke about either. Finally, the number 10 position is dominated by GP Percussion SK22 Complete Student Snare Drum Kit. Every day you get home from work, or wherever you are, and your 10-year-old says, "Please get me a drum kit, I want to be a drummer." You smile sweetly and think, "Oh hell, how much is this going to cost?" Then you approach him or her with the delights of learning the harmonica, but no drums it is. You know that one day you're gonna tell John Bonham exactly what you think as the sound of Led Zeppelin and Roman IV coming from their bedroom shatters the peaceful neighborhood. GP Percussion may have the product to solve your problem. Let us make this very clear from the outset. This is a budget snare. We are not going to try and dress it up as anything else. If you give it to a pro to use, he'd probably ask you if you're feeling okay. But that doesn't matter. It's not for him or her. That's all for today. We upload music product review videos every single day. So, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon for the upcoming video notification.